You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
So you can set your fantasy lineup up to June 1st, and then on June 1st you buy Grey Cup tickets.
Right.
See?
So easy.
This is perfect.
What a seg.
It's synchronicity.
It's like I lined that right up.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
Riley's in the shotgun, looking downfield, and then throws. It is up in the air to the goal line. Bounces. What a catch! What a catch by Duke Williams! Touchdown, Eskimos! Bryant Mitchell. It's going to be intercepted. Arjun Colhoun. 108 yards to the end zone. Vanell Hazelton.
Welcome back to the Turf District for episode 117 of the Eskimo Empire Podcast, brought to you by United Construction Company. You can check out eskempire.ca for a link to their page, but also all of our social media and our show links. As always, we are a proud partner in the Canadian Football Podcast Network. I'm your host, Andrew, and I'm joined, as always, by my favorite football friends, Superfan Mike.
Hello, hello.
And Webmistress Kayla.
Hello.
There you are. See, now we're sharing mics, so we're gonna bounce back and forth. This will be a little bit fun. Hey guys, tailgating news is coming out right away, and
yes.
So we know that we will have our spots once again.
Hopefully the same place, yeah.
I hope it right in the same place, because that's what we want to be.
Right.
Yes, especially me, because I still want to keep Mike Riley's parking spot, number 13. Yes, thank you very much. I will take it. And then you're in 12, right?
Yeah, Tom Wilkinson, that's okay by me.
That's all right by you.
Jackie Parker, you know.
The easy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's really.
Yeah, Moss.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He doesn't listen, so it's I can say whatever. Okay. Now, Kayla, big news for you this week. You moved your season seat.
Whoa, calm down. Only for Grey Cup.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you already have your tickets.
I do, and plus 7 more.
Excellent. Excellent. See? Getting a round of applause from our guests. I knew that was going to happen. And right in a fantastic section, if I might say so myself,
yeah.
K2. Fantastic.
Well,
come
K.
visit us in K2.
Hi.
I know. K.
Yeah.
La. Yeah. Kayla, too. Yeah, exactly. Now, Kayla, last thing we need to talk about before we get to our guests. Your magic worked 2 weeks ago. The sound effect did the whole trick. And Ryan was saved on Big Brother.
It's true.
Unfortunately, a week later, there was nothing we could do as a community to keep him in the game. So.
Yeah, so unfortunately he'll be back on the air. So more podcasts with the Stampeders.
He's in jury house.
Oh, good.
He ain't coming back anytime soon.
Okay.
Well done, Canada.
Somebody has to explain. No, don't explain jury house to me right now. Okay, but yes, thank you for keeping Ryan in, and now he's out. So
and thank you to all the CFL.
Yes, absolutely.
Because it was you guys that did it, really, let's be honest. It wasn't Canada, it was the CFL.
That's a CFL community. That's right. That's what we do. We stick out for our own.
Yep.
So now that we've got that out of the way, let's introduce our guests, shall we?
Let's.
Yes, okay, we should probably do that. So the Grey Cup Festival is returning to Edmonton this year. And of course, we said we wanted to bring as many of you to the party as possible. So we are joined by 2 members of the Grey Cup Committee to start sharing some of the festival news and get you in on all the know for why you should be here with us. So welcome to the Turf District. We've got Duane Vienneau, who is the Executive Director for the committee.
How are ya?
Doing very well. Thank you for coming out to this.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And we've got Lauren Farnell. Am I saying that right?
That's correct.
Excellent. And you're on the communications side with the committee.
That's right, yeah.
Wonderful. Now, very glad to have both of you here. I just want to get a bit of background before we get into our Esks news. So, Duane, you were the director in 2010 as well. So you're kind of back for more. We're going to assume that you like doing it. And if you watch the Periscope, you can laugh along with that. But what drew you back to doing this again?
Well, you know, it is Canada's largest annual sporting event, and we had such a great time in 2010. I was actually involved in 97 and 2002 Grey Cups as well, but not in this role.
Wow, awesome.
And, you know, it's just such a fun event, and we had so much fun doing it, so when it came back, you know, it's hard to not do it.
Absolutely.
And, just looking forward to it. It's a great event. The people, like... look at this room.
We have some excited people here.
Well, this is what I mean. This is what it's all about. And coast to coast, you have people like you guys in this room, and you go to Grey Cups and you just see all the different allegiances to clubs, and everyone gets along together and plays together, and then but on the field that goes away. But it's just such a great environment. So how could you not come back?
It is one of the things about the Grey Cup, and I've said that before on the show, is that it's the only place where you can go. You can be in a bar with a person who's wearing a jersey from every team in the league, and everybody is getting along.
Right.
They're all hugging and telling stories, and this is how I cheer for my team, and as much as you want your team there, it's almost more about the getting together with your football family.
I don't think I've ever seen a fight at a Grey Cup.
No, neither have
Or
I.
maybe on stage.
Except for,
No, you're right. You're right. Right, it's the only...
That's true.
You went there so early.
I've got a whole podcast to get there.
But those weren't fans, to be fair. They were players.
It's true. It's true.
but yes, fans. How much beer
What's
is
in that cup? My God, what do you guys do here in the
Truth
podcast?
serum. That's right. Yeah, it's what we do when we get together.
Gin and sodium pentothal.
Truth serum.
I like that one. Gin and sodium. Yeah, that'll be a little edit that we're gonna have to use for other times. Now, you both too. As much we talked a little bit on the Periscope, you're also connected to the Eskimos as fans when you're not doing Grey Cup stuff. So, Lauren, let's start with you this time. How long have you been a fan, and kind of when did you get introduced to football?
Wow, how old am I? Because literally, from birth. I didn't have a choice, so which is a great thing.
I have 3 children that would say the same thing.
There you go. Okay. Well, good. I'm in good company. Yeah, true story. My mother and father were fans. My dad especially. He's going on 40 years as a season ticket holder, and so he's a big fan. And his parents were big fans before him, and brought him and his brothers to the games. And so he carried on that tradition with myself and with my sister. And it's something that I'm proud to be a part of, and I love being a part of the Empire. And so it's really exciting to now be a part of it on the other side for sure.
Yeah.
So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, Duane, I know your fandom goes so far as to you actually were working with the team for a while, but
but early on, I used to go to games at Clark, and started in the Knothole Gang days. To get the good old Woodward's patch on your jean jacket,
of course,
and go buy. I think the tickets were $1, if I remember correctly, and but started that off with my dad, and his buddies would all bring all of the kids, drop us off.
Right. Absolutely, that's how it would work.
They go drink beer.
Yeah,
come back and get us, and call it a day. But it was the best time, and I remember continuing. In my early 20s, I think, got to that point in the early 20s where the bar on the north side used to be open.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that it's gone through different generations
of
time. And so I've been a fan for a long time.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have a favorite player that ever...
Of all time?
Yes.
Marco Sinkar. No, I'm just kidding. I do like Marco.
That was a good shot.
No, the era that I remember most fondly is obviously the 5.
Of course.
And it's right in I was in my, my high school days at that time. So it was probably my favorite era, but how do you? There's too many players.
Pick one?
How do you pick one? Yeah, obviously Moon is the obvious, but there's just so many Brian Kellys and Larry Highballs, and just it goes on and on and
Absolutely.
on. Hank. I can't. I don't even know how to do it. I couldn't. If you told me to do it, I wouldn't know who to pick.
Okay,
that's why I went for Marco.
Okay,
he was there.
You're looking right at that sick flow on the wall.
I am not complaining about that choice.
No.
Yeah, he had great hair.
He does.
Yeah, and like I said, feel free to bring him to the festival.
No pressure.
Parade Marshal.
Really, now we're getting in. Oh, I can't wait to talk about
We'll
that.
get a hair sponsor. It's going to be great.
My heart's a flutter.
Joico. Nice.
That's awesome.
I hope JMO's listening.
I hope so too. I can imagine the message I'm going to get. Lauren, any player that's kind of been your favorite as you've kind of gone through?
My standouts for me when I was probably, I would say, in junior high, I used to wear a Willie Plus jersey to my junior high, and I remember even like really nerdy things like my locker combination, my gym locker combination was Willie. It was Willie Plus 21 Willie Plus. Like that's how I remember in my locker.
Nice.
Like
That's
so, I was a
awesome.
big Plus fan. The Giz was a big part of again, when I was sort of that age, he was such a huge deal and still is, but I mean, Giz and Plus stand out for me for sure. Yeah.
Those are excellent picks.
Yeah.
Excellent picks. Yeah. Well, now that we kind of know who you guys are, let's talk a little bit about this year's team before we get into the festival, because we have to have a team first before they win everything at the festival. So Las Vegas minicamp is open, Superfan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the boys are all back in pads. Everything's going around. It's the way it should be, and we waited a long time.
Yes.
It's been a long winter.
It really has. And lucky for us, we do have our correspondent, Uncle BD, down in Vegas to check everything out for us. I'll get to his report in a second. We did sign a couple of players. Linebacker Rodney Butler, who spent some time with Seattle. We have to say welcome back to DB Demetrius Wright.
Number 42.
Now, you were watching him a little closer last year, as I recall.
Yeah, absolutely. You wore 42, so that number kind of stands out to a bunch of us.
What?
I don't know why. Big fans of Ken Ferguson in the 60s.
That's what it is,
I thought he did a good job, but he was only around for just a few games.
Yeah.
So apparently he studied well, and they brought him back. So I'm looking forward to see what he can bring.
Yeah, looking for more of that depth type guy there. So now they did have an open tryout. They had about 100 guys out on the Saturday before minicamp opened. One gentleman, a defensive lineman, Zachary Barnes, did end up getting a contract the next day and was there for the minicamp.
Right.
And all reports from Uncle BD is that he is a little smaller, but he has got a motor. And that's what made him stand out. So,
well, yeah, I mean, if he's a tweener guy, that so is one of our favorites, Kwaku Boateng. So
absolutely.
I figure maybe he can slot into that spot. I mean, obviously an American versus Canadian, but still be great on teams.
If they're the same type of speed, they could be doing that drop back position, right? So that would be not such a bad thing.
No.
But I know that Brian said they were doing a lot of coaching with him with take the step out and go. And when he was doing that, he said it's a good thing it was a non-contact practice because there'd be a lot of guys that would be lying on the ground. So that's kind of exciting to see. Right now we have 86 players on the roster.
Right.
So that means that we are going to have to cut down to 75 before
plus counters.
Plus non-counters. Yeah, exactly. So we are going to see some shifting in the next little while. We did see one today as Speedy Noyles was released.
Right. So I mean, this is a guy that they had sort of slotted in as possibly a returner.
With a name like Speedy, you'd think.
I mean, he's a receiver as well, but he had done a lot of returning previously and in college. So maybe they've got someone else they like. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think we ended up with kind of an embarrassment of riches at running back and at wide receiver.
Oh,
so
no question.
I think that if you didn't stand out, then that was you're really going to have to prove yourself to get anywhere in this particular group, I think.
Yeah, apparently Duke Williams, Riley was talking about, is the person who impressed him most.
Is that right?
Yeah, he said he's really studied. He's worked out in the gym, and he was a big boy to begin with, 225 pounds. And of course, everyone loves his jump back to fade to get the ball. I forgot to ask BD that. Did he learn to catch the ball with his feet on the ground? I don't know.
Because if he could do both, it would be amazing.
That's true.
He'd be otherworldly if he could do both. But I do like the jumping in the air. Don't get me wrong. Yes, as you can tell by the intro of this particular show. Yeah, exactly. So the BD report. Let's go over a couple of things. The O-line is enormous, especially with the addition of Mason Woods at 6'9", just a wee
350 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So they're getting huge. Like I said, the embarrassment of riches of running back and wide receiver. He said the DBs that are in the system, you can tell they've been in the system for the years. There's a lot more communication going on.
Good.
And he said that they had Arjun Colquhoun and Hightower on one side and Grimes with Adams on the other side.
Right.
And that could make that one side a lot more shut down.
Very physical.
Very physical with Adams and Grimes on that one side. Yeah. And I mean, Colquhoun can cover a lot of ground real fast.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that idea. Now, the question is there's still a spot there at safety, but Neil King is down there and has been showing in that spot.
Third-year guy now, so I think at this point he's got to have it locked down.
I would think so. Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing that he came back, he said the defensive line is very explosive. He was very impressed with Serezna, which he said that he was really pushing guys around. But the two that really stood out for him were Alex Bazzi.
Nice.
And our good friend Milk Truck.
Excellent. Mark Mackey.
Mark Mackey. That's right.
When Odell gives you a nickname, it sticks.
That's exactly. And we're never, I mean, if he makes the team, that might be the shirt this year.
Milk Truck?
Yeah. Here comes the Milk Truck. That's right. Because I think that'd be fantastic. Needless to say, I think lots of good things going on at minicamp. So that's exciting for as we gear up for less than a month away here.
Is there no Zylstra name floating around? Is that
no, that Zylstra did not.
They didn't invite him?
Well, no, because he's just on our negotiation list.
Oh,
so, yes.
okay.
Yeah, so we have to wait and see if he has a NFL opportunity first. I know. All right. So the path to the Grey Cup, of course, starts here. So now we need to talk about the Grey Cup.
The other side. Yep.
Absolutely. So with both of you here, the Grey Cup is the festival is running from the 21st to the 25th, and there's going to be events all week. The big news, of course, we're recording this on Monday, so as of today, all of the regular season seat holders for other teams now got their invite to purchase tickets. And Duane, you were saying in the Periscope that's gone really well.
Yeah, very well so far. So, we've done similar things in the past, but in 10 we had pretty good success with all the different teams from season seat holders from different teams that participated, and I'm happy to report in the first day we had the similar results that we did in 10.
Nice.
throughout the whole week in one day.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's things are going very good. Again, like I said to you early on, we're trying to beat that record.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know the record was they went on sale on June 1st and we sold them out by June 6th.
Yeah,
correct?
June 6th in the early evening, we officially sold out
in 2010.
In 2010.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so the goal now is to try and beat that record.
Well, yeah, we always wanted to be a little better than we were before.
Just a little competitive.
Just a little better.
Just a wee bit.
So you got Lauren now, so there you go.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You can't say anymore.
Well, now, how do you guys know then, as far as season seat holders, was that about the same as last time? Were we getting some more season seat holders out of this?
Yeah, so, we always, when you host a Grey Cup, it always sort of entices some new fans and new people to buy tickets, which we're seeing the same things happen in 18 as we did in the past. And the great thing about, if it wasn't for the season seat holders, we wouldn't sell out so quickly.
Right.
They have the opportunity to. There's a very strong base in Edmonton, as you guys know.
Yep.
And they have the ability to buy their game ticket, their regular season seat, plus an additional, as you know. So that gives us a very, very strong base.
Sure.
Awesome.
And then once you go into giving some pre-buys to some key partners like the other teams around the league, their season seat holders, by the time we get to that June 1st on sale date, we are in good shape. But we don't. We make sure we protect inventory too. That we don't want to be like some of the old concerts where it's sold out before it goes on. Yeah,
right.
We don't do that. We protect inventory. We make sure. If we got to a certain point, we would probably slim right back and limit inventory. Because we want to make sure that on June 1st, everyone that wants a ticket can get a ticket.
Right.
But the message is act quick.
Right. Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You want to get on it right away.
That's right.
Now, and we did talk about this on the Periscope as well, but you guys priced it to be able to sell it out quick as well.
Yeah, and across the board, except for one category, we're literally $25 more expensive than 2010. And so our entry ticket in 2010 was $98, and it was the 98th Grey Cup, so that's why we did that. But this year, our entry ticket is $99, and then our most expensive ticket is $325, and in 2010, I think it was $299.
Right.
So across the board, it's just sort of $25. So
still, these are priced to sell.
Yeah, it's priced to sell, and we
for
just
a championship game too. Like let's be real about it. It's a big game.
Yeah, the benefit that we have is we do have the largest stadium in the CFL, so we have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
But we also want to make sure that it's affordable to all. You can't go to many sporting events these days for $99.
No kidding.
So
it's just not a championship game.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's I just jump in there too. The amount of sort of families I've heard from, via social media over the course of even just today with the pre-sale, it's families that are saying, I want to bring my kids to a Grey Cup game. We've been to 2 before. This is our first one, and so that price is enticing when you're bringing a couple of kids and your family, and so it's great to see the tradition happen too at that price point. So
we're guaranteed at +8 or so.
Yeah. So
you heard it here first.
Wait a minute.
+8.
I gotta say +8. All right then.
So when they sell out, because they will sell out, we have a lot of standing room at the end. Will there be potential possibly to have standing room tickets if there's enough outcry?
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why I say that so quickly. In 2010, when we sold out in 6 days, there was a great debate on should we do standing room?
Right.
Should we add some bleachers? We could have added bleachers in the south end.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
We could have done that.
Yep.
And we decided that it's okay to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So let's celebrate a sellout, and that's that. We don't need to add more inventory. Let's sell it out, then have a great event, and you can add other things, like we're adding some tailgate parties, some new ones,
excellent,
some other ways to experience the game if you don't get a ticket. But again, it's okay to sell out is sort of our motto.
Okay.
So I one question that kind of went through my mind was because right now they do have the 2 standing bar areas in the corners of the stadium. So are those actually going to be up for sale as those types of seats, or are they actually going to be blocked off for the Grey Cup?
No, those you're talking about the end zone. Yeah. So we're selling those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
As kind of like a bar standing seat.
100%. Yeah,
we're fantastic.
And the one thing we're not doing currently we're not doing it, but typically we have those north end zone tailgates.
Right.
Yes.
We're probably not going to do that.
Okay.
And it's all about to do that you have to actually kill a certain amount of seats.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be able to put those in.
Yes. Yeah.
And so we decided that let's sell the seats and keep the field a little bit cleaner.
Sure.
For the game itself. So.
Right. You can do the presentation down that end, but this way it's a little more...
Yeah, I say that now, that might become your standing room. When I change my theory.
Wait a minute, this works way better.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Lauren, you actually touched on it a bit. One thing that's really different between 2010 and 2018 is the rise of social media has changed so much. Facebook was really in its infancy, just a couple of years old. Twitter has exploded, things like that. I would imagine you've got some sort of your strategies based on the social media, but what kind of buzz are you hearing on it so far?
Well, today is, exceptional because, of course, you were hearing from fans from across the country.
Right.
So, I think I heard from every different part of the country today via social, which was great to see. There was a lot of excitement building around the fact that people could finally get their hands on these tickets, and people had really been chomping at the bit. When can I get my hands on these? So it was exciting to see that today. A lot of people sharing that they had just secured this section and this seat. And it really just set some things up. Everyone's been saying sort of hashtag is it June yet? And I'm on the other side. I'm going hashtag is it November yet?
Right.
We just can't wait. And so
that stresses me out.
I know. I know you hate a countdown, but we've got time. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's such a fantastic opportunity to hear in that moment, what someone is thinking,
Yeah,
what a
that buzz.
fan wants to know, and what's happening across the country. So it's a real game changer, and it's nice to be able to interact with fans and have that engagement on a daily basis, really. So it's great. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, the other thing that you touched on, and I wanted to ask you both about this, because you talked about more families wanting to get Grey Cup tickets. The one thing that I noticed in the festival, and I even noticed it in the past couple of years, is they are doing more. I mean, there's obviously the parties, there's the team parties, and there's the adult side of things. Don't get me wrong, but there is definitely some more focus on the families with the Titan Street Festival, a nice Nissan Titan Street Festival and things. So what are you guys like looking forward to as far as like the family side of things coming to the Grey Cup and the festival?
That's a very good point. There's no shortage of drinking parties to go to. And
Thank goodness for that.
So we hear.
Cheers.
True serum. No, there's no shortage of that. So we made a conscious effort to focus on family programming. And so that's why we did things like the mini field. If you remember, we put the mini field on the ice / pool at City Hall.
Right.
We're bringing that back.
Great.
And we had that 20,000 square foot tent structure, the Epcor Huddle Dome in 10, which was all family programming.
It was great.
You couldn't have a drink in there.
Right.
And the key to that was, we haven't talked too much about Bring the Heat, but Edmonton always has a heat-themed Grey Cup.
Right.
And we know that it might be cold. So if it's going to be cold, just embrace it and know you can have fun. So that's why the idea of the tent was born. We thought, how can you invite families to come, and it could potentially be minus 20.
Right.
Could be, yeah.
So what are they going to do if it's minus 20? So we said, we got to put the families indoors. So that's why we built that tent to begin with. So we're doing that again.
Excellent.
And basically everything you saw in 10 was our base point.
Oh,
That's
nice.
where we started.
Okay, so the zip line's back.
The zip line's back.
Excellent.
I won't be able to go on this year, but I'm glad it's
No.
back. Yeah, I won't be allowed. Yeah, but it's still, it'll be cool.
Yeah, so the zip line, so the funny story that we tell all the time is that we've announced all these things already, so we're free to talk about it, but we weren't going to bring the zip line back. We wanted to bring something cool like the zip line.
Right.
And so we went to Capital Power, our sponsor in 2010, and we said, we want to bring the next zip line in. And they said, well, we want to sponsor you if you bring the zip line. Oh. So we said, we're doing a zip line.
Yeah.
And then we had about
What else?
Then we had about 3 or 4 ideas of something new, because again, with that theory of doing it a bit better than the last time.
Yep.
Well, now we're doing them all.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And it's all because of partners. We have great partners. We went to this partner and said, what do you think about this idea? And went to this other partner and what do you think about this idea? And they all said, yes, 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 yes. So now we're doing a ski activation. We're building a ski hill.
Oh,
really?
On Jasper Avenue.
Oh, man, that's
We're building
cool.
a tube slide
I heard about that one.
on Jasper Avenue.
Also, probably not on my list. Just for,
We'll go on for
tobogganing
you.
makes it a little scary.
and the
anyway,
zip
still,
line.
it's very good.
Yeah.
So those 3 are major activity-based
That's awesome.
programming that'll be right in the middle of our festival.
Great for families.
Great for everybody.
Yeah.
Really. They're family orientated, but they're really so you've been to a lot of Grey Cups.
Yep.
Yes.
You sometimes you go walk around in the festival and there's spin the wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
We really want to provide something that you can go do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's
And
fantastic.
it's free.
Yeah.
All
those are
of
free,
those
yeah,
activations that we
exactly.
just talked about are going to be free. So.
That's great.
And all of those things, I think it's really important for the people who don't live here, who may not know. All of those things are kind of happening in about a 4-block radius downtown. So if you're either staying downtown or even if you're staying as far as White Avenue, you get downtown. Once you get there, everything is all in that one spot.
And still so close to Commonwealth.
Yes.
Like, really walking distance.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's right off Jasper.
Yeah.
Like, it's only...
You
can. I've done
could.
it.
Yeah, we've all done it after
done
a
that
major
walk.
event.
Yeah,
We've done that walk.
Not usually in the end of November.
We've all done that
no.
walk.
And it's walking, right?
Yeah.
Stumbling, walking. Same thing.
So, yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that up.
Slipping.
Our one of our major focuses is to we say it's that 4-block radius, and we've all been to Grey Cups in this room where you're in a car a lot. you're going to this event, you're in a car. You go into this event, and you're in a car. We want to create an environment that when people say we're going to Grey Cup, there's only one Grey Cup. There's only one place to go.
Yeah.
And we believe that that'll create density, create more attendance,
absolutely,
create a better vibe, and it'll just be an overall a better event. And it's right, so the Shaw Conference Center, we have every square inch of that place booked.
Oh, wow.
We're doing dinners. Half our team rooms are in there. Spirits breakfast is a couple of breakfasts. The prayer breakfast, the alumni lunch. It just sort of goes on and on and on. And that's right in the middle of our entire festival.
Right.
Yeah.
And then zip lining down into the valley, behind the convention center. Like it's all right there.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, I did hear another rumor, and I just wanted you to confirm it for me, was that you are bringing the parade back.
100%.
I cannot thank
Everybody
you enough.
loves a parade, right?
So, you know what? The last couple of years, they haven't had that Grey Cup parade like a couple days beforehand, right? And it was usually the Saturday. And it was like, I missed not having it. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I had another person ask is if they're going to do the fan march, and I don't know if they still do that or not. But
we want to look at it. To be honest with you, a previous commissioner, as you know, started it, and I think it was building some momentum, and then it just sort of dropped a bit.
Off. Yeah.
And we've been talking with the league and talking about the potential of trying to maybe bring that back. So nothing's concrete yet, but it's something that we're seriously considering doing. And back to the parade, it's a huge draw.
Like I said, I love it.
It was estimated in 2010 that the parade had an attendance of 125,000 people.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's massive.
Yeah.
And that Saturday morning, everybody lining the streets. You got
all the alumni in town.
Absolutely,
and it's like that's the place to go. I like in 2010 for me, I remember standing there and it was just like, it's that guy. It's that guy. Wow. Like you get so excited, right?
You're just waiting for Marco.
I was going to say I'm like Sincar or whatever. Yeah.
I couldn't speak when that happened. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The perfect way to get yourself excited for the game and for everything that's going to come the next day, and it'll be televised. It's so whether you're lining the streets or you're watching it at home, I mean, everyone can be a part of the parade. So
that is awesome. Okay, so then another question that I have for you is, are there kind of special, I know you just said you don't like countdowns, but is there going to be special days where you guys make announcements? I know last year they did, 100 days before the Grey Cup, they announced some of the concert series, and then 50 days they had another announcement. I'm just wondering if you're planning on doing something like that, or when we will get some of those announcements, because of course we're all excited to hear.
Lauren can answer that because I hate countdowns.
Thank you, Duane Vienneau. I live my life by countdowns. I literally wake up in the morning and I flip the page and it's like, oh God, how many days to go?
Love it.
I like to live in fear. Yes to all of that. I mean, again, another great way to just, build up that excitement and that momentum towards the festival and towards the game is we've got so much planned and so much happening. I think we said something like over 50 events over the course of those 5 days. So there's an awful lot of stuff that we will have to unveil and announce, and between other ticketed events. Mm-hmm. So, the awards and galas and concerts and all sorts of other things. All of those are going to happen. You're going to see that being announced and different performers. There's tons of stuff up and coming over the next,
for sure,
7 months that we'll have to unveil. So, you probably won't get it all at once.
That's okay.
It'll come gradually.
That's better that way.
There will kind of always be something to look forward to, for sure. And 100-day countdowns and stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We're happy to help out with any of those announcements.
Good
That'd
to know.
be great. Yeah, we're happy to help with that.
We'll do official announcements on the show.
On the podcast. That's right. That'd be great. Come on, I got to plug somewhere. I got to do that somewhere. All right. Now, if anybody is looking for information right now, I'm assuming the best place is probably to go onto the website, greycupfestival.ca.
That would be the best spot for sure.
Okay.
Make sure that you're following all the different social media channels, because because there's an awful lot of talk and action and activity between other fans that's happening there too, which is always good. So, yeah.
Fantastic. And on Twitter, it's at Grey Cup Festival.
That's right. Yeah, everything is Grey Cup Festival. So
perfect.
Yeah, keeps it
nice and easy. So, I mean, one of the lifeblood of any huge event like that is going to be the volunteers. So, obviously, they've had really success with Grey Cups in the past, but how do people, if they want to volunteer, get a hold of you for that?
Well, so people can actually, the good thing we know about Edmontonians is that they love to volunteer, and they come out in droves. Anytime you're looking for 1,000+ people, you have no shortage of them here in the city, and they're all volunteers who have done major events before too, so they come with a lot of background and a lot of history in being a part of these. I'm sure we'll have people that have done all 4 Edmonton Grey Cups that'll still want to volunteer. We probably will have those folks, which is great. We want them all. For right now, people can sign up for sort of early registration on the website, but we'll be looking to launch official recruitment of volunteers very soon.
Awesome.
So if people want to be a part of that, we're going to need anywhere from
1,000 to 1,500 usually is sort of the number.
Wow. Okay.
We have half of those already sort of signed up, and we haven't did a call yet. So
fantastic.
It just shows what it's all about.
We want to be part of the festival, right?
Absolutely, in any way, shape, or form, right? So it's great.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure everyone will be following and joining in and being part of the social media. Let's take just a quick break here, and then we will come back for our Eskimo moment and some CFL news and kind of what's to come.
Hey, this is Ryan King, Grey Cup champ.
And Calvin McCarty, also Grey Cup champ.
And you are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire Podcast is brought to you by United Construction Company. As a full-service commercial general contractor, United Construction Company serves large and small-scale commercial, light industrial, and multifamily residential construction projects across Western Canada. UCC is a relationship-focused builder, forming a trust and respect that is at the forefront of their commitment to quality, value, and integrity. Visit their website at unitedconstruction.ca to find out more and support them as they support the Empire.
You can join the Empire online. Find us at sempire.ca. All of our social channels are there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, plus our blogs, extra pics, and the link to our Patreon page. You can also get more history at S History on Twitter and This Day in S History on Facebook. From the Empire team, thanks again for listening. Now let's get back to the show.
Welcome back. It is time for one of our favorite moments of every show. It is time for the Eskimo History Moment.
Let's hear you cheer and holler for a mighty famous team. Let's hear you roar, you know what, for a team that's on repeat. Our voices rise up to the skies, the fans are glad to scream. We love those Eskimos.
So with 2018 being the 40th anniversary of the 1978 season, most of us remember that as the start of the 5-in-a-row Eskimo dynasty, we wanted to focus on a player that maybe people didn't quite know as much as the others who was involved in that sort of era. So in the 1978 season, the Eskimos signed a player they had drafted 2 years earlier to a territorial exemption. Now that was a rule that the CFL employed from 73 to 84, where each team could select 2 locally developed players before the draft even started. So this receiver was a lauded University of Alberta Golden Bear, setting records galore in Canadian inter-university football, including the most reception yards in a game at 227, most catches in a season with 58, and the first ever 1,000-yard receiving season in university football. He won the Heck Crichton Trophy as the most outstanding university player in Canada in the senior year. While he could have gone to the Eskimos in 76, he was also drafted by the NFL's Washington Redskins, who outbid the Eskimos for his services and became the first ever Canadian-trained player to be drafted and make the team of an NFL squad. His name is Brian Fryar.
Ah, yes.
So after an injury-plagued NFL career, to say the least, he ended up missing the entire 1977 season, recovering, and then he joined the Eskimos in 78 just as they were rounding into form as the most dominant team in CFL history. Joining Waddell Smith, newcomer Tommy Scott, and veteran receiver George McGowan for his first CFL season, Fryar expected more going into a second season with the retirement of McGowan, only see the emergence of another Brian, rookie Brian Kelly, explode onto the scene. With injuries to Smith and Kelly in 1980, Fryar played a greater role, including the playoffs, but was derailed for the 1981 season as he was knocked out for the year in his first game. In 1982, Fryar finally showed the Eskimo faithful what all that potential was about, as he made 55 catches for 812 yards and snagged another 4 passes in the 1982 Grey Cup, en route to the 5th consecutive victory. He still made solid contributions in 1983 and 84 as a top 4 receiver on the Esks roster, but by 1985, with the signing of Rick House and the consistent play of Marco Sincar, Fryar was traded to Ottawa for the last few games of the season, after which he retired from playing. Brian Fryar was enshrined in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame 5 years ago in 2013 in recognition for his CIS play with the Golden Bears, and is still active with amateur football and the Eskimo Alumni Association. But he will be forever remembered as a member of the Eskimo dynasty of the 70s and 80s, and by us especially on this podcast for his smooth vocal talent singing lead on 5-day trial record that was released in 1978.
Hey mama, say you wanna say yeah, but don't say no. We could get in my car, pull my ass the front seat, stare out the back window. You love to do it, so let's get to it. Make love sweet, soft and slow. Listen to the man play the blues on the radio. Come on, Mac, play your stuff.
We need to hear
Please
this.
tell me you
I
cut
have
to
it.
this. Yeah,
I have it, and it will be in the podcast. But I'll play it for you before.
So
you
it was
it's fun.
Brian Fryar sang lead, and in the back, the guys who did the doo-wahs, as they said, was Dan Kepley, George McGowan, Don Warrington, and Tom Towns.
Oh boy!
Wow.
So again,
it's,
this sort of
it's a beauty.
Oh.
It's sort of countryish, bluesy.
I liked
pop.
it.
It's interesting, a lot of those guys are still in market.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's they are. Yeah.
Tom
Not
Townsend.
for their music careers,
No.
but
As a matter of fact, that was not so
strange
much.
that.
Strange that, but especially after we heard that.
We'll have
Anyway.
to play it for you at some point so you can hear it.
Yeah, it's very.
It's
very
magical.
Magical. Let's go with that. Funderful.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Just adding on to the Esks moment. Superfan, we lost another member of the original 49 team this week as well.
That's right. John DeLugos, who is actually the grandfather of friend of the podcast, Rory DeLugos, who's been on, I think, in season 1. Yeah, Section GP, lives out in Grand Prairie. So his grandfather was one of the last of the original 1949 team still around, and he passed away at the age of 89 on Vancouver Island. So our condolences to all of the DeLugos family and the rest of the Eskimos.
Absolutely, those who know him for sure. Now, Esks related, I guess, in some of our news, Joe Montford is going on to the Cat Wall of Honor.
Yeah, a guy that came in for that 2005 Grey Cup and just a beast at defensive end. He had some of the biggest arms I've ever seen on a human being. Just absolutely massive. And
even bigger than Obsidian?
Yeah, it was big. Yeah. And he just had a great energy about him. I was watching the 2005 Grey Cup recently and just watch him get onto that field, running on the field right before the introduction. It's just amazing.
Yeah, great player, and really should be in the Hamilton Wall for sure.
Absolutely.
That was where he was his most dominant.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the news that came from the CFL was that all the teams did stay under the salary cap. So my question to all of you is, does this mean we need to stop bugging the riders about it? Or?
No.
Okay.
No, for now. Gee,
we don't need to stop bugging the riders about anything.
That's okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that, because I was a little worried for a moment and then thought, oh, okay. No, we should be good. Camp is just around the corner.
Yes.
And we have all these new prospects. So, Superfan, who are you kind of wanting to see out there as far as a prospect is concerned?
There's so many. Serezna is one that really I've wanted to see, just because, of course, with the trade with Odell, it was a name that he was coming back. So a lot of people are wondering, who is this guy? And I'd love to see him do well, at least for sure. The other guy I want to see is Milk Truck again, Mark Mackey.
Absolutely.
We met him at Fan Day last year.
Yes.
And he actually listens to our podcast. So
Well, he did at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, then he probably was like,
Why
these
wouldn't
guys
he
are
still?
schmucks. Yeah, but anyway, Milk Truck, we love you.
yeah, so
exactly.
that line for sure.
Yeah. Okay. No, I can't argue with that at all. I'm really excited to see Mason Woods hit the field.
Sure.
Again,
Literally.
just part of that. Of course, the trade for my beloved Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I do want to see. Thank you. But I do want to see him again. Just the giants of guys that are going to be on that line. I'm excited to see Jacob Ruby take another step on the offensive line as well. Not only because I did like his play last year, but I know he does listen to the show and
That's
he does talk to us. So go, Jacob, go. That's
right. Prospects, sorry?
What's that?
Are these the only prospects that you're looking at?
No, these are people. Well, some people were on the team last year, and some
I feel
of
like
them
everyone knows my
prospects.
answer anyway.
Yes,
oh, well,
we do.
Okay, so Kayla's answer is
Bryant Mitchell.
that's right. Yes, we want Bryant to take that next step and be a starter this year.
That's right.
As he should be. As he should be. All right. So now, has everybody signed up for CFL Fantasy? Put
Sure
in your first week of Lauren.
I know I've been a little busy. It's weird.
She's like,
I
wish I knew everything was going on at Counts.
Fancy league, I know, yeah.
It's probably good for you to say that with Duane sitting right there. That's good. But okay, so if you haven't already, you have an opportunity that you could sign a 1-day contract with your team if you sign up and put in your starting week players. I think it's before June 1st.
I believe so.
Yeah. If you do that, so see, you can set your fantasy lineup up to June 1st, and then on June 1st, you buy Grey Cup tickets.
Right.
See?
So easy.
This is perfect.
What a seg.
It's synchronicity.
It's like I line that right up. So Mike, who do you have on who's your starting? I don't even have to ask who your starting running back is.
No, you don't.
No. I think we have the same one.
Starting quarterback, the guy that outperformed even his high rate, Mike Riley, MOP.
Yes.
He is one of the top 6 all-time for fantasy points.
Yes.
Last year. Like, that was just incredible. So if you don't have him, well, you get less points, I guess.
You get less points. And CJ Gable goes without saying.
Yeah.
I think I started all Eskimos except for one player.
I think I took the BC defense. They'll be facing Montreal.
Oh, that's probably a good pick.
Yeah.
That's well done. Yeah,
Who was the one player?
The one player was player checker, the now likely starting running back for Calgary, who is dirt cheap.
Yeah,
because everyone thought it was going to be Roy Finch, but I don't think he's making it to the roster, unfortunately.
No.
So I believe player checker is a cheap deal at running back that is likely going to be a starter. Yeah. I just gave away all of my tactics to win in week 1.
You put me on the spot.
Wait, is this on air? Wait.
Yeah,
it's edited anyway.
Yeah, it's all going to be beep.
You're going to put that music in. That's when that song's coming in.
Yeah. Call this fire trucker it all out. It'll be fantastic. Yeah, that'll be fantastic. That's good. All right. So now, other than buying tickets, anything else that everyone needs to know about Grey Cup Festival at this particular moment, or are we just waiting until after June 1?
Yeah, so really our focus is getting that game sold out as quick as possible.
Sure.
That's our number one focus, and people that are saying to us all the time, how do we get tickets? We're like, you have to become a season seat holder. We really honor our partners. We want to make sure that our season seat holders have they support the club all year, every year, all year.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we support them back. Same thing with our corporate sponsors. We talk to Eskimo season seat corporate partners before anybody else.
Right.
We make sure we're always going through that process, and so really it's about getting that June 1st on sale done. And then Lauren sort of touched on this earlier, but we'll start to announce other events in the summertime and start to announce some entertainment and those kinds of things. And then sort of Labor Day on is really we call it attendance building, but it's really diving into more details about everything. So we'll show a rendition of what the ski hill's going to look like, and we'll start to really get the vibe going of what we're building. And then before you know it, it's here, and
yeah.
Then
it's party on.
Let's have a good old time.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I love it.
I'm always curious on things, especially, I mean, I come from a music background. When you select the artists to play both the concert series and the halftime show, what's that process like to pick that kind of group or artist?
Yeah, so those are two different questions, really.
Right.
And so the halftime itself, that's a CFL responsibility.
I see.
It falls under their roles and responsibilities, and they work very closely with Universal.
Okay.
And there's lots of factors that go into that, but that's really sort of their responsibility. We then are everything else.
Right.
So we will have programming on that outdoor stage in the festival from 11 in the morning till 11 at night.
That's great.
Free entertainment all the time. And some of the things we did in 10 were very good acts.
For sure. Some good local artists.
Local during the sort of in the morning, and then we sort of go on as we get closer to that 8 o'clock witching hour. And then from the concert series to all of our events have high end entertainment, from the awards to the gala, just tailgate parties. It sort of goes on and on and on, and that process has started right now. And we just want to, I guess, we haven't talked about this, but the number one goal that we have in Edmonton is to, we have financial responsibilities, but it's not all about that. It's about throwing the best party.
Right. Awesome.
And so when you're in a community like ours with a community-owned team, it's not always about profit. It's about having the best Grey Cup, showing the country what we're all about, having something that all of us are proud of, and to talk about for years to come.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So let's just quickly kind of around the table. Lauren, I'll get you to start for, again, where does everybody find the Grey Cup Festival, and how do they get in touch with you guys?
GreyCupFestival.ca is where everybody can get all their information. Again, we'll be updating as things are announced, as events come online. We've got a lot of people right now that are saying, when can I get my tickets to this, that, cheer extravaganza, the gala, the awards. Alumni luncheons, all that sort of stuff. All of that stuff will be online as soon as it's available, and that'll be the first place that you can find it. So GreyCupFestival.ca. You can also follow us on all social media, which is the same. It's the Grey Cup Festival on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can find all the information you want there. So
fantastic. All right, Superfan, where does everybody find you?
They can find me on Twitter at 56Parkies, and then the history at Esks History.
Perfect. Webmistress?
At Dutch Lombardi on Twitter, and Eskimo Empire Podcast on Instagram.
Whew, 2 weeks in a row. I love it.
I didn't even read the sticker.
And you can find us, of course, at Esk Empire Pod, and you can find me at Freepalicious. And, of course, you can also go to our website, eskempire.ca. All of the links for everything are there, and, of course, all the shows, and, of course, the blog posts as well. And Kayla is working feverishly on her laptop to put out more stuff for us right on the website, so make sure you go there. I do want to just take 2 seconds to plug one of our friends of the show, Jen. She contacted me. She bought season seats this year so that she could make it to the Grey Cup.
Excellent.
And she is looking for she's looking for a seatmate because she bought them just on her own. So if you are looking to just have one seat and sit with this really nice gal, just get in touch with us and we will put you in touch with her, and she can talk you about costs and things like that. But it is in section D, so it is on the dark side. Yeah. And it's the best place to be.
West is best
when you're part of the Empire. So it's they are over there, and that way you have easy access to west of us. I mean, I don't know what more you need. It's fantastic right there. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's very cool. Meet a new Eskimos friend.
Exactly.
Right? And I love that.
Exactly.
That's great.
So if you're interested in that, get in touch with us. We'll get you in touch with Jen, and hopefully we can figure that out for you. As I said, follow us on all of our social channels, and thank you again to our sponsor, United Construction Company. Check out their website at unitedconstruction.ca. You down with UCC?
You know me.
Perfect. Okay. And we are back in 2 weeks. We have our season preview with the voices of the Esks, Dave and Morley. So, are we excited to hear more from Vegas Minicamp? Absolutely. Are we ready to get back to Commonwealth for main camp? Absolutely. And should everyone get their Grey Cup tickets on June 1st?
Absolutely.
For Duane, Lauren, Webmistress Kayla, and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.